Now we review Borderland. Not Borderland. Yes, now we review Borderland. It's more bored than Borderland. Ladies and gentlemen, I have seen Borderland. I actually have to say it's my kind of garbage. Before I get any further, let me remind you, of course, for every 1,000 subscribers, I gotta do purchase one of these bracelets from 4Ocean. 4Ocean pulls a pound of trash out of the ocean every time I do that. If you'd be so kind as to comment, like, and subscribe, you'd be doing your part for a better world. Now, Borderland. There used to be some aliens who were, like, really advanced and stuff. Did you see Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes? Yeah, it's like, okay, the more advanced people are gone, and now we need to open the thingy that has their technology in it. Yes, so we can be all powerful. Only I think like this thingy makes you into the Phoenix from X-Men or something like that. It's kind of a weak plot because it's based on a video game, and video games don't need good plots. What they need is action and game mechanics, and those don't translate well into movies. So yes, what's happened is that rich dude had somehow childed himself the key to opening the vault with the thingy in it, and the key/person winds up getting stolen, and he then hires a bounty hunter who's like the best bounty hunter in the world to go out there and recover the vault and stare at what's her name? Why am I blanking? I'm not having a good day here. Yeah, I mean Laurie Strode, you know, chick from Halloween. Why am I not remembering that? Jamie Lee Curtis's cleavage. Yes, Jamie Lee Curtis's cleavage, probably the most animated character in this particular film. I don't know why we didn't get more time with Jamie Lee Curtis's cleavage. I mean, she's not a spring chicken, I'll grant you that, but still the best part of this film. Anyway, beyond that, I mean, the robot is either going to annoy the heck out of you, or you're going to enjoy it. It's like, you know, if you saw the one of those bad Star Trek movies where Data gets emotions and he's just like way too happy, like, I'm going to kill you, you're to shut you up, you're too happy. That's the robot in this movie. And, you know, characters beyond that don't get a lot of development. And the whole movie takes place in a giant junkyard of a planet. So I thought it was Earth when I saw the trailers. I didn't know it was another planet, but I mean, there was all this garbage and broken things and graffiti. It looked like downtown Los Angeles to me. I mean, you know. What? That's the ice cream truck. Do you remember the ice cream truck? I haven't been to an ice cream truck in like 30 years, but anyway. So yeah, I mean, you know, and on this garbage planet that looks like it's just acres and acres and acres, an entire planet of downtown Los Angeles, and in this there is a gang of milk carton, I guess it would be milk jug faced mutant white people. I noticed that there was not a lot of diversity among the mutant white people. What is up with that? Why is it all the mutant gangs? Like, you don't see any women, and not a lot of genetic diversity there. It's like, in this gang of weird, come on, seriously? It's a small world, and you're encroaching on my personal space. This is one of those things I dislike about these video games that show these mutant hordes of weirdos. Like, what are all the women doing? Are they back home cooking or something? What do women do in these movies? Why is it that all the combatants are men? It's like the main characters, there's plenty of women. In the bar, you see the prostitutes and madams and stuff. But, like, then you're out and there's these mutant weirdos that apparently don't have any women. Are they asexual? Do you cut them in half and a new one comes out? What happens? Where do these things come from? What's the dynamic there? I never got that. And the scene where the robot poops bullets. What is up with that? There's a dynamic there that I don't get. Maybe this is a comedy and you're not supposed to take it seriously, but I really didn't, I didn't find it all that funny. I mean, okay, it's like, in the beginning, the chick they're trying to save seems like my sister and I want her to die. It's like, yeah, don't tell me that thing's going to survive this movie because she's annoying. But then she gets apparently the my sister thing was all just an act. And she only sort of thinks she's my sister. And she thinks like, the universe revolves around her. Which, is not a good thing. Characters that think the universe revolves around them are not really fun characters to me. But that's because... That's weird. That's because I've dealt with those characters and I don't like them. So yeah. I have to admit here that there's a lot of production value in this. I mean, it's like really high production value sort of things. And I've heard people complain that it feels like the R-rated bits have been cut out of this movie. So it's entirely possible that we may get an R-rated cut in the future. I would also say the cinematography is fine. It's not particularly good. And the score is just bleh. Totally bleh. And to be completely honest with you, this movie is getting slaughtered by critics. I mean, it's something like a 4 on IMDb. Rotten Tomatoes has the audience giving it a 50%, but it's like a 9% from critics. And Fandango, I think, was somewhere in the 40s. I don't really recall. But it's one of those things that, yeah, this is a movie that you're supposed to be drunk when you watch, I think. I mean, for what it is, I was never bored. And, I mean, I turned it on and never turned it off, sort of thing. I never wanted to leave. I never wanted to go out and do something else. This movie was solid in that regard, is that, yes, it was crap and it didn't make a lot of sense, and it's like, oh, now we've got to go do the thing. Oh, we've now got to do the thing. I'm not getting invested in these characters, but, I have to admit that I would rather watch that again than the M. Night Shyamalan movie Trap, which I felt that movie overstayed its welcome, whereas Borderland, despite being, boring land, it didn't overstay its welcome. It really wasn't boring. Boring's the wrong word. Nonsensical, unengaging, but not boring, really. So, yeah, I mean, this belongs in the lower half of your watch list. It's kind of just fluff. But as fluff goes, I mean, if you had to see a movie this weekend, Borderlands it's not great, but I would say that this movie is probably going to appeal to a certain audience. You should be aware of the fact that it's pretty much a coin toss at this point, whether you're going to like it, much like with Trap. In fact, if you had to see one or the other, Trap is probably the higher quality film, but Borderland is more fun. It's not that it's... Well, think about it this way. I mean, it's hard to describe. If you remember the original Mario Brother movie, okay, it was a weird film, right? And it didn't make a lot of sense. But, there are people who absolutely love it. I think it's the same way with this film. So, yeah, it belongs at the bottom of, at the lower middle of your watch list. This is not something you should run out and see, but put a caveat on that you should probably see this movie, because whereas you're probably not going to like it, if you do, you're probably going to be really rewarded. So yeah, I mean, it's not a great film. It's the lower half of your watch list, but I'm still happy I saw it. It gave me a lot of energy. I was never bored. And I would say that on the one hand, it's not a good film, but on the other hand, it's pretty enjoyable. But that's just my opinion. I'd love to hear yours down in the comments below. I'm Richard. Greetings, humanity. Once again, Fred the Facehugger here, reminding you to comment, like, and subscribe. And of course you should do that because, if you look, I am wearing 2 bracelets. These bracelets are from 4Ocean, a company that pulls a pound of trash out of the ocean every time somebody buys something from them. Well, the owner of this channel has pledged to buy 1 bracelet for every 1,000 subscribers. And it's a very, very dirty ocean that you dirtied. So you should help him out and comment, like, and subscribe. Therefore, having him more subscribers so that he can buy more bracelets and clean that ocean. Or, yeah, I could fulfill my life cycle and hug your face. Don't you want a hug? Come over here. I want to give you a hug. I want to give you a hug right now. Yes, come over here, polluting human. Let me give you a hug.